Gamers Paradise here, doing a discussion video on the Final Fantasy VII Remake. The discussion will be about the gaming industry as a whole and the remake itself. First, let's start with when Final Fantasy VII was originally released, before we get into what the discussion is about. The game was released about 20 years ago. It's 20 years old. They're going to release it for the anniversary, probably, hopefully. The point is, 20 years ago, what was acceptable then is not acceptable now in lots of cases. An example is Xenoblade Chronicles X censorship of Lynn's age and outfits that were sexually revealing, along with character creator for female breast sizes. Another example would be Street Fighter V censorship, and another example will be Dead or Alive Extreme 3 not coming to the West. The reason why I'm bringing up censorship and Final Fantasy VII is if you've played the game, you'll know that many scenes in the game people can deem inappropriate. The cross-dressing scene with Cloud, most segments with Don Corneo, and the Honeybee Inn scene, along with Tifa's outfit and her breast size, which people have complained about before. The reason why I bring this up is now that we see companies censoring games more, will they censor 7 parts of the game that people don't want touched? The Honeybee Inn scene, the cross-dressing scene involving Don Corneo, Cloud, and them. If they were to censor it, most people would. One, there'd be a problem with the fan base in general. There'd be half that agree with it because they might be offended by it, the majority of them that hate it for good reason. It was in the game 20 years ago. It's part of the game. When they announced that they're going to keep the game as a whole, if you take out any sections of that game, it is no longer whole. Along with how we've seen Tifa's breast size change in different games as a form of censorship because the way she's dressed and the way she's designed. Again, it would piss off the fan base because that was her design 20 years ago, and she was designed as a revealing character. And if they changed the outfit because of censorship, it would piss off a lot of the fans, just like Xenoblade Chronicle X censorship pissed off a lot of the fans. What I also think could be censored is Sid's use of cursing, which was already censored in a joking way, but because they won't use text boxes now, probably it will be hard to censor that, along with Barrett. Those I think they should leave alone no matter what, because it's part of their character, and I don't really want to touch on that subject, because no one really cares much about that. The main subject that could be censored is those sexual scenes. The thing that I don't understand with that, I understand, like, it's not acceptable now to have all of that in the game, but there's a rating system in place. I don't think they should censor a game. One, they'd be cutting content out of the game. You can't really censor the Honeybee Inn scene without taking it out. You can't censor the Don Corneo scene without taking stuff out. You could censor Tifa, but it's changing the design of a character for no reason. It's needless. They should leave everything intact. The thing people were talking about, which I've seen on forums and I've seen in videos, and that's why I've waited to make this video, is that if they were to censor the game, say the Honeybee Inn scene was taken out, the Don Corneo cross-dressing scene was taken out, they just changed it in a way you can still do it. Is it taking away from the game? Yes and no. If you can still go from point A to B in the same way, and it doesn't feel like it's missing stuff, then take anything out. But it still would be like they took stuff out because you've played the original and you know what was there. You know the mini games and stuff to get the stuff to dress Cloud up to go to the Don Corneo's mansion and everything. You know about the Honeybee Inn scenes and everything. You even know like people who like how Tifa's dressed and her character and everything. And there's even scenes in Tifa later in the game during Nibelheim where you could find her panties and stuff in the drawer, which is just there for fun. That people would find offensive if they took it out. Some people would not like. I think that they shouldn't censor anything in the game if it's noticeable. If it's something that you can't really notice, like small details, yes, but a large part of the game that you notice, like the Don Corneo scene, the Honeybee Inn, stuff like that should be left alone. Even if it doesn't take away from the overall game, it doesn't take away from the story, it'll still be something that fans of the game will notice, and it will be a problem. If you haven't played the original Final Fantasy VII, you might not notice it. It might not bother you. There might not even be a difference with those scenes gone. They'll find a way to fix them if they do censor it. This is all going off the assumption that what if they censor it? Not they're going to censor it. I don't want anyone to say that I'm saying they're censoring it. I don't know if they will. I'm talking about what if. It doesn't matter, like, again, if they take the scenes out and it still flows correctly, okay. But the point is, they shouldn't censor stuff from a game to appease people that will not play the game. It has a rating for a reason. A T for teen rating, an M for mature rating. All these ratings on games are for a reason. Final Fantasy VII was released 20 years ago. It has a lot of stuff in it that people might find offensive, they might find inappropriate, etc. But there's a rating on it. If you have a problem with the game, saying if children play it or anything, they cannot purchase it without you buying it for them. A game should not be censored for the select people that are complaining that will not play it. If someone plays the game and it actually offends them, then you're complaining, okay, I understand why. You've played it and it did offend you. But if you're not going to play the game, if you're not going to be near it and it's not going to affect you, it shouldn't have to be censored. I don't think Square, if anybody brings up they want scenes taken out, they want scenes censored, they want stuff censored, I don't think Square should censor it. It's a T for teen game. It was in the game 20 years ago. It should stay in the game 20 years later. If they want to censor, they censored Barrett sort of. Like, people said before he looked like a racist caricature of Mr. T and stuff a while ago. I guess that counts as censorship. Not really that big in change of design. But so, like, they shouldn't really censor those scenes from the game. They shouldn't change character. They shouldn't change stuff for censorship reasons. If they change it for a design reason because they think it looks nicer in a certain way, like if in their opinion Tifa's revealing outfit looks better if they added something to it and it's less revealing, but it's because it's what they think looks nicer. There's a difference between them changing it for that reason and changing it for censoring it. They shouldn't have to censor the games. Certain games that don't need to be censored and should be censored, I guess, depending on the rating and what's in it. But Final Fantasy VII does not really have anything in it that's overtly sexual, overtly violent, stuff like that. It doesn't really have it. I understand in HD people might even complain about certain scenes with the Shinra building massacre at Sephiroth, because even on the PS1 version, again, had all the blood and stuff. Now it'll be in HD and all this. But it's a T for teen game. Nothing should have to be censored in the game. They should leave the core game intact. They already put it episodic and all of this. The game should stay intact. And as a fan of the game, I would still purchase it only because I've waited for the game. But it would impact the game a little if I knew scenes were taking out, like knowing that a big part of that little section was gone because it needed to be censored would ruin the overall enjoyment of the game for someone who's played it before. So that's my thoughts on the issue. Comment down below how you'd feel if Final Fantasy VII Remake was censored at all. Like, say they took out not even a huge scene. Like, say it was just a little thing. Maybe instead of Sid and Barrett cursing so much, they censor it with Dawn and stuff. It would still bug some people. Like, comment down below what stuff would bug you, or you would like them, or like you'd hate if they took it out in the remake, and like tell me what, if anything at all, you'd want censored, what it would be. So comment down below your opinions on this matter. Again, I'm not saying it will be censored. I'm saying on the premise, what if it is? They have not said anything about censoring it so far. I'm really hoping Square Enix doesn't be stupid and censor the game for absolutely no reason. We can only hope. So comment down below, like your general thoughts about the game too, if you want. Like and subscribe for more content, and I'm going to start having more videos soon. The next video will be involving Final Fantasy VII again, and it will also involve other things involving the Final Fantasy series. So that is all. Gamers Paradise, signing out.